Hello. Today, Group D will be presenting about groupthink in the workplace. We'll be covering some topics like what is groupthink, the psychology behind groupthink, and how to avoid groupthink. We hope you enjoy.
So in an attempt to introduce this topic of groupthink, we will answer the question of what is groupthink exactly. And the definition of groupthink is when a group of individuals makes an irrational decision that is caused by individuals wanting to conform to the group or value harmony amongst the group members rather than valuing the rational thought process. Now to move into a little bit of the psychology or the mindset behind the groupthink topic. Groupthink is kind of the fear of having an opinion or a thought that differs from the majority of the group, again, leading to that premature or irrational consensus amongst the group members.
Groupthink in the workplace. Some common causes. As shown on screen, there's a list of the common causes in groupthink, especially in the workplace. But one I'd like to talk more about is peer pressure. Peer pressure being the pressure you feel to conform through your peers or other people you work with. This resulting in the habit of agreeing with others and groupthink. Because of this, individuals find themselves more times than not agreeing, maybe if they don't fully agree.
Next, I'd like to talk about some problems caused by groupthink. Lack of creativity is the first one. Groups affected by groupthink tend to focus more on the overall cohesiveness of the group rather than individual expression, meaning that they care more about the way that the group gets along rather than giving their own opinions on things. Morality and ethics is the second one. Group members believe unquestionably in the group's morality, meaning there's a higher chance of the group as a whole making an unethical decision based on nobody standing up for what they believe in. The last is lack of group feedback. The group's blind trust in their own decisions creates a lack of needed constructive criticism, meaning they can make poor decisions for the organization and their group as a whole.
Here are some symptoms of groupthink. First is complacency. This is when, after a few successes, the group begins to feel like any decision they make is right because there is no disagreement from any of the members. Group members becoming complacent typically become disengaged and lose their passion. Next is peer pressure. This occurs when a group member expresses a different opinion or questions the logic behind a decision. The rest of the group works together to pressure that person into compliance. This can lead to a person not expressing their opinion when they should. Lastly is rationalization. This is when group members convince themselves that despite evidence to the contrary, the decision being presented is the best one. Rationalization can lead to group members becoming more concerned with efficiency than values.
Avoiding groupthink. One way to avoid groupthink is to encourage debate. Employees should understand why it is so important that ideas and opinions are challenged, and they should also be challenging other employees' ideas and opinions as well. This is how some of the most creative and innovative ideas come about. Another way to avoid groupthink is to reach out. Invite and include employees from all departments in the decision-making process, especially if they will be affected by the decision that is made. Another way to avoid groupthink is acknowledge biases. Recognize and understand biases before diving into the decision-making process. Lastly, you always need a plan for it. Utilize feed-forward control and tackle the problem head-on rather than ignore it and have to deal with it down the road when problems could be much worse.
Groupthink in the real world, an example being in the 2008 financial crisis. The belief was that housing prices would continue to ascend and stay in a bull market or positive market, even though the research and evidence showed that wasn't true. Banks and other financial institutions stood firm, though, in loaning out riskier bad loans, resulting on plenty of individuals going belly up on those loans and not being able to pay back to those banks or financial institutes, creating the financial crisis. If the groupthink throughout the financial world and bank world wasn't that the housing prices would go up, some institutes rather than others could have not have been hit so drastically in 2008, resulting in the financial crisis.
Thank you, and we as Team D can say we appreciate your time and hope you enjoyed. Thank you again.